Hello, and welcome to episode 3. Today is International Holocaust Remembrance Day, a day where the world can commemorate the victims of the Holocaust and take time to reflect on the horrors of the genocide that resulted in the murder of 6 million Jews, 1/3 of the Jewish people, and millions of others at the hands of the disgusting Nazi German regime. I will point this out before I continue. They say hate is a strong word. Well, I'll go on record as saying I hate Nazis and anyone who chooses to align themselves with such beliefs. And I will take advantage of each slight moment that I get to disrespect them, while not deviating from the overall point and message and effectiveness of this episode. Alright, so with that being said, let's continue. The Holocaust, sometimes referred to as the Shoah, which is Hebrew for catastrophe, was a systematic, state-sponsored prosecution and murder of 6 million European Jews, as stated earlier, by the Nazi German regime and its allies. This era began in January of 1933, when dirtbag antagonist leader Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party came to power in Germany, which ended in May of 1945. When the Nazis came to power, they didn't immediately start the mass murders. Instead, they moved like a wolf covered in cheap matted sheep's clothing by using the government to target and exclude Jews from German society, enacting discriminatory laws, organized violence, targeting German Jewish citizens. The radical prosecution of Jews was referred to as the final solution to the Jewish question. This was referred to as such by Nazi leaders, and you can shorten it to just what they called the final solution. It's unclear as to when these dirty Nazi leaderships decided to implement this plan, but it was a decade-long organized, systematic mass murder, with genocide being the culmination or climax point, which was implemented between the years 1941 and 1945. Now, why did they target Jews, though, is the real question. That answer's fairly simple. Anti-Semitism. Or to put it in simpler terms, they were prejudiced and hated Jews, which was the basic tenet of their ideology and the foundation of their twisted worldviews. They falsely accused Jews of causing social, economic, political, and cultural problems in Germany. Fragile and unable to accept Germany's defeat in World War I, they even went on to blame Jews for that too. The Holocaust didn't take place in only Germany. It took place throughout much of Europe, as the Nazis proceeded with their aggressive foreign policy and territorial expansion, beginning in 1938. This led to the start of World War II in Europe, when they decided to attack Poland on September 1st, 1939. By 1942, Nazi Germany controlled most of Europe and parts of North Africa. With over 40,000 internment camps, Nazi Germany committed mass murder on an unprecedented scale, with many dying from starvation, disease, and other inhumane conditions, which included mass shootings and asphyxiation by poison gas. In 1941, the regime was building specifically designated killing centers in Poland, also known as extermination or death camps. Of the 6 extermination camps, Szelmino, Belzec, Sobibor, Treblinka, Majdanek, and Auschwitz-Birkenau, Auschwitz was the largest where an estimated 1.5 million people died, 90% of them being Jews. International Holocaust Remembrance Day serves to commemorate the date that Auschwitz was liberated, which was on January 27th, 1945, and marked the end of the Holocaust. Many countries have their own Memorial Day, such as the UK, which also falls on January 27th, while others, like Israel, they have Yom HaShoah, which is observed on the 27th of Nisan in the Hebrew calendar, which falls for us in April or May. Yom HaShoah is very much a Jewish day, focused on Jewish victims, and is linked to the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, which saw Jews take steps to defy the Nazis and defend themselves. That day, they honor their memory and remember their heroism. On International Holocaust Remembrance Day, it's a broader memorial for the victims, including Jews, Roma, political prisoners, the disabled, and Christian Poles, as well as honoring the soldiers who liberated the concentration camps. This day was designated by the United Nations General Assembly Resolution 6070 on November 1st, 2005, urging every member of the UN to honor the memory of Holocaust victims. It supports the development of educational programs to remember the Holocaust and to prevent further genocide, and also rejects any form of Holocaust denial. So on this day, let's light a candle for those who lost their lives and had to suffer during such a difficult time. Rebuke the ideals of those who found it okay to carry out such an evil plan, because no good comes to people like that. And to me personally, it's good to know that Hitler, who showed his true cowardice by committing suicide by cyanide in a bunker, will burn in hell for eternity, as will him and his allies, as so they deserve. If you're ever in Washington, D.C. area, take the time to go tour the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum, which offers a chronological narrative of the Holocaust, from historical artifacts to photographs and film footage. Also, personal objects and eyewitness testimonies of individual survivors. Now that museum, I really encourage you to go to, as I've been once before. It's very powerful, informative, and necessary to learning and better understanding history. So again, today, we commemorate and honor the memory of those who lost their lives during the Holocaust. I thank you for taking the time to listen. I promised I wouldn't be before you long today. And I'll catch you in the next episode as we start off Black History Month.